So thank you very much indeed for being here. Thanks also for your patience. We are just a little bit late, but I'm sure that your waiting time was worth. And I'm here to just introduce Commissioner for Home Affairs, Cecilia MALMSTRÖM, and US Attorney General Eric Holder at this occasion where they are about to present the Global Alliance Against Child Sexual Abuse Online. So without any further delay, I give the floor to Commissioner MALMSTRÖM for a short statement and then to Attorney General Holder.
Thank you very much, Michele. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the US Attorney General Eric Holder for being here today. That means a lot to us that he is here today. And we sat down about a year ago and started to discuss how important it is to place child abuse online on very high on the agenda and to see what we can do to take more action to fight it. And at that time, we started discussing creating a global network of nations who would join in their efforts to tackle this transnational hideous crime. And we're here today, 1 year later, to launch the Global Alliance Against Child Sexual Abuse Online with 48 countries worldwide from all the corners of the globe. And I'm really grateful to all those countries being here. They have decided to be part of the alliance, to lend their authority, their commitment, their presence here today. And I want to thank them and their representatives for coming. Child sexual abuse online is a horrible crime, and it is also a hidden crime. Not only because it is often perpetrated in the darkest corners of the web by criminals who act in secrecy and who try to keep their networks invisible. It is also a hidden crime because it is so painful and so hard to talk about it. It's such a horrible thing that sometimes we just want to close our eyes and look away. We don't want to hear these heartbreaking stories of those children being raped and tortured, often by people they thought were their loved ones. But these images do exist, and they are circulating on the internet as we speak. And behind each of these images, there is an abused child, an exploited and helpless victim. And every time someone looks at those pictures, that child is exploited and violated again and again and again. And the number of images grows. Conservative estimates tell us that there are around 1 million images on the web right now, and that 50,000 new pictures of sexually abused children are put on internet every year. And this is why we're here today, to say loud and clear that we are serious about combating this. We are here because we want those criminals to know that 48 countries today are joining our forces all around the world to chase them and to put an end to their crimes. And we want to be here because we want the victims to know that they are not alone, they are not forgotten. We pledge to work together to identify more children, to save them, to protect them. And we know that no country can do this alone, as the criminal networks behind these crimes know no boundaries and exploit the lack of information exchange and the legal loopholes that exists between and within the countries. We also know that international cooperation is crucial if we want to effectively investigate cases of child sexual abuse online, if we want to prosecute offenders, and if we want to identify the children. And that's why we're here today. That's why we want to foster cooperation as an endeavor of countries that are committed to work together towards common goals. The event taking place here today in Brussels is just a starting point. We hope that we will be able to meet regularly and to have more countries joining in the future. And I'm looking forward to next meeting that will take place under the able chairmanship of the United States, and where we can take stock of the progress achieved. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you. It is a pleasure for me to be back in Brussels today and a privilege to join with my friend, Commissioner MALMSTRÖM, in launching the Global Alliance Against Child Sexual Abuse Online and renewing our shared commitment to protecting the safety, the rights, and the best interests of all of our children. I'd particularly like to thank all of the ministers, the state secretaries, and other officials who have traveled really from around the world to take part in today's really important conference and who have shown such dedication to working together in identifying, assisting, and seeking justice on behalf of underage victims of online sexual exploitation. Now, their leadership will be absolutely critical to the success of our new alliance. And I look forward to hearing from them this afternoon and discussing the ways in which we can increase cooperation and collaboration across international borders, building a more nimble information sharing infrastructure, bolster existing law enforcement capacities, and really expanding upon the existing record of success that together we have already established. As my nation's Attorney General, but also as the father of 3 teenagers, protecting the safety and the potential of our young people has always been both a personal and a professional priority. And I'm proud that all my colleagues across the United States Department of Justice and the entire Obama administration are doing to confront the threats faced by children at risk and children who are in need. From developing the United States government's first ever national strategy for child exploitation prevention and intervention, to strengthening enforcement efforts through an initiative known as Project Safe Childhood, fostering increased community action across the United States, and then raising awareness, both at home and around the world, I think that we have accomplished a great deal by working alongside a range of domestic and international law enforcement agencies to bring pedophiles to justice. For example, through last year's Operation Delego, the Justice Department and a variety of U.S.-based law enforcement agencies collaborated with international partners, including Eurojust, Interpol, and Europol, to dismantle a global community of pedophiles known as Dreamboard. Together, we were able to identify and apprehend offenders from 14 countries on 5 different continents, all of whom were engaged in the creation or exchange of really unspeakable images of child pornography. Now, such operational successes have proven the power and the effectiveness of broad-based collaborations involving allies from every corner of the globe. But they've also demonstrated really quite clearly that a great deal remains to be done, that threats to our children continue to grow and evolve, and that no single nation, as Cecilia said, no single nation will be able to address these challenges or overcome the obstacles ahead on its own. It's only by coming together in common cause, in good faith, and with mutual respect that our nations will be able to secure the progress that we need in bringing criminals to justice and getting abused and exploited children to safety. And that's exactly what forums like this conference and innovative partnerships like the alliance that we announced today, that's why they have never been more important. Through increased cooperation, broader information sharing, and expanded training opportunities, we are already laying the foundation for a more effective international legal framework designed to allow investigators and prosecutors to move more seamlessly between jurisdictions in order to shut down exploitive online enterprises. And as we move forward by establishing common procedures, exchanging knowledge and expertise, enhancing reporting mechanisms, and engaging a broader coalition of private industry leaders, I'm really hopeful that this global alliance will enable us to take our comprehensive efforts to a new and better level. I'm confident that today's session will afford us a unique opportunity to strengthen our shared commitment to this work. And I look forward to all that this global alliance must and surely will accomplish in the critical days and years ahead. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much indeed. We have now time for a few questions. There's a microphone. If you could please introduce yourself before asking your question. We can start. Christian.
Christian Spielmann from Agence France Presse. Madame MALMSTRÖM, Russia is hosting about 10,000 websites and they are not part of the alliance. Why are they not part of this alliance? And do you plan to discuss this subject with Mr. Putin during the last summit in December in Brussels? And Mr. Holder, you said we need cooperation. If countries don't want to cooperate, do you plan some actions, or it's a lost battle like the battle we have against the neo-Nazi websites? And unfortunately, you have many neo-Nazi websites in your country and nobody can close them. Thank you.
Well, we certainly think that there are people in every country who care about the welfare of our children. And I think one of the things that we have to do is raise the consciousness of the people around the world to the nature and the extent of the problem that we are here today in Brussels to address. I'm confident that people of goodwill in all nations will force recalcitrant governments to participate to the extent that there are governments that are recalcitrant. You have to understand this is the first time we are getting together, and we have an extraordinary number of nations who are represented. I think Cecilia was saying 48 nations are here today. my expectation would be at the next alliance meeting that the number will expand, and other nations that are not here today will certainly be there. But this is a global problem that requires global solutions, and I am confident that if we raise awareness about this, if we talk about this, if we focus on it, that all nations and all peoples will join in this effort.
On Russia, well, Russia has been invited. We invited them as well. Unfortunately, they have not felt that they were ready to join at this moment, but we hope that they will. The Global Alliance is open to all countries of the world, and I'm quite confident, as Eric said, that more countries will join. What exactly will be discussed at the summit, well, it's not really in my hands, but I have certainly discussed the issue with the Minister of Justice, Mr. Kovalkov, who I meet regularly, and will continue to do so.
Justina?
Justina Pawlak, Reuters. I actually have a question for Attorney General Holder. We are told by multiple sources in Washington that there's growing frustration over the pace of the investigation, the FBI investigation into the September attack in Benghazi. And I was wondering if it's correct to say that the investigation, and this is apparently due to a lack of access to complete interviews, is it correct to say that that investigation is making little progress? And another question, have you spoken to President Obama about staying on for the second term, and what are your plans?
Even in Brussels. I will first say that with regard to Benghazi, we are working, I think, quite well with our international partners, and that we are actually making progress. It is a matter that is ongoing, so I can't really discuss any specifics, but I will say that progress has been made, and that we are getting really good cooperation from a variety of nations who have responded to our requests for assistance in a very heartwarming way. I am focused on the work that I have here today with Cecilia, the other work that I am doing, and the question of how long I will stay will work itself out. It is something that I will obviously be discussing with the President.
Thank you very much. Indeed, I don't know if there are other questions. At this stage, I don't see any. So thank you very much indeed for attending this VIP corner.